The story of Exodus doesn't end with the big show at Mount Sinai. It's just getting started. After God gives the 10 Commandments, the real work begins. How does a massive group of former slaves learn to live together? How do they learn to live with a holy God in their midst? Chapters 21 through 40 of Exodus answer these questions. They are God's blueprints for a new kind of community. This isn't just a list of rules and building plans. It's a love story. It shows a God who cares about every detail of his people's lives. He wants to protect them, guide them, and most of all, live with them. After the thunder of the 10 Commandments, God gets personal. He knows big ideas like do not murder need everyday application. Chapters 21 to 23 are exactly that. God's loving instructions for fairness and respect, not cold laws of a distant king, but warm guidelines of a loving father. He is teaching his children how to build a safe, just neighborhood. The rules cover workplace accidents, even an ox in a neighbor's garden. God cares about small stuff because he cares about his people. These laws protect the most vulnerable. Servants are treated humanely, not like property. Justice for the poor, protection for the foreigner. God says, do not mistreat a foreigner, for you were foreigners in Egypt. He turns past pain into present compassion. Imagine building a house with friends. You'd need ground rules, right? Agree on who does what, how to share tools, how to keep the site safe. That's what God is doing here. Be honest in business. Return a lost animal, even to an enemy. Let the land rest the 7th year, so the soil and the poor both flourish. You know, it's really about kindness. After giving the laws for living together, God invites his people into a deeper relationship. In chapter 24, Moses goes up the mountain again. He seals a sacred covenant between God and Israel, like a wedding promise. They say, everything the Lord has said, we will do. Then God does something amazing. He invites Moses, Aaron, and 70 elders up the mountain. They see a vision of God, pavement like brilliant sapphire, clear as the sky. God does not harm them. They eat and drink before him. Fellowship. Now God gives the next instructions. Detailed blueprints for the tabernacle. A portable dwelling place. His home among them. God doesn't want to visit. He wants to move in. Materials, gold, silver, fine linen, acacia wood. Furniture, the ark, the table for bread, the golden lampstand. Every detail points to God's holiness and beauty. Approaching a holy God requires care, reverence, preparation. Priests are vested with garments woven with gold, blue, and purple. Offerings aren't to earn God's love, but to respond to it. A way to say, I'm sorry, thank you, and draw near to the God who drew near. The tabernacle is a gift, God moving in with his people. While Moses receives God's beautiful plans, a disaster unfolds below. 40 days pass. Fear creeps in. They forget the God who split the sea and freed them. Come, make us gods who will go before us. They trade the unseen glory of the living God for a lifeless imitation, a heartbreaking betrayal. God says they've turned quickly aside, offering to start over with Moses. Moses stands in the gap, pleading God's promises to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God relents, mercy. Consequences come, covenant broken, then confronted. Yet the story turns, new tablets, covenant renewed. Our failure is great, but God's grace greater. Now it's time to build. Whoever is of a willing heart, bring an offering. The response overwhelms, so much that Moses tells them to stop giving. The same hands that funded an idol now fund God's dwelling. This is what grace does. God fills Bezalel and Oholiab with his spirit. Wisdom, understanding, skill. Every detail made exactly as the Lord commanded. Many gifts, one purpose. At last, the moment of truth. Everything in its place. Then the cloud comes down. The glory of the Lord fills the tabernacle. Even Moses cannot enter. God has moved into the neighborhood, dwelling in their midst. From rules to relationship, rebellion to restoration, God makes his home with his people. Well, it's a beautiful close to that chapter.